had a successful career in the entertainment industry for more than 25 years. And that's amazing because she started when she was 8. So clap for Barbara. She is the creator of the programs Create Your Future Now and Your Genius Code Unlocked. As a certified Thinking into Results consultant with the Proctor Gallagher Institute, she now shows people how to play a bigger game, bust self-imposed barriers, and connect with a brighter future. You don't get what you want, you get who you are being. Did you hear that? I'm going to repeat that again. You don't get what you want, you get who you are being. Please welcome our keynote speaker, Barbara Daoust.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for being here. It's nice to see you. And thank you, Janine, and the producers of AFC. It's wonderful. This is an inaugural event. So let's get started. Are you ready to get started and start your day? You ready to start your day in the right way? Okay? Because it's all about your attitude, right? That's where it begins. And I want you to understand that your attitude is really about how you think about things. And how you think about things impacts the way you feel. The way you feel impacts the way you act. The way you act impacts your results. And if you get conscious about the way you're thinking and start really taking authority of your life, you are going to see dramatically different results. So I'm here today hoping, intending to inspire you to play a bigger version of yourself. So it's called Flip Your Script. Get out of the comfort zone. Isn't it time that you claim the spotlight? How many of you want to claim the spotlight? Right? How many here are actors? How many here are directors? How many are producers? How many are writers? How many of you are creatives? Yes, right? So we are all creatives and we are all creating. And you know what? Everybody is creative and everybody creates. So it's what you believe to be true that will show up in your life. So I like to say to people, you only get one take. Why not make it your best shot? This is not a dress rehearsal. Your life is not a dress rehearsal. You only get one take. You understand that? So it's whether or not you're going to make the best of it through the choices that you make in your life. And I want you to really think about, do you have clarity of vision? I'm going to be talking about that. What is your vision for your life? Do you have a vision for your life? Do you have a 10-year vision for your life, a 5-year vision, a 3-year vision, a 1-year vision for your life? We need to set our dreams on fire and do it deliberately. Consciously be deliberate about creating the life that you want to have. Most people are lost. Most people are stuck because they don't have a direction of where they're going. They don't have a destination. How many of you have a destination? And you know what it is? And are you clear about it? It really counts. It matters that you get clear, you get specific, and you start to guide yourself and listen to no one else but you. It's really important that you develop courage to execute on this vision. It takes courage to step outside the comfort zone. And I'm going to explain a little bit about stepping outside the comfort zone and why people don't step outside the comfort zone. There are things going on and they don't know why. Most people don't know why they're stuck. And then having confidence. How many of you have been in this business for more than 1 year? 2, 5, 10, 20, right? So it takes a lot of confidence and courage and a vision in order to keep on going. It's the idea of you got to keep on keeping on. So let's just talk about clarity of vision. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what are you seeing? What are you saying? What are you believing? What you project out into the world is basically the way that you are showing up and the way that you are being perceived. It's not just how you look, it's how you are being, what you are thinking, because people are not picking up on the way that you look. You might think so in the first 7 seconds, yes, people are judged by the way they look, but people are picking up on your vibration, on your emotional vibration, what you think about yourself, what you say to yourself, what you believe about yourself. So who is your future self? Most people are living their lives based on the past, and they're bringing their past into the present, and they're getting the same result over and over and over again. And what's the definition of doing the same thing over and over and over again, getting the same result? It's insanity, right? So this is the idea of you think about your future self. Who is your future self? Can you bring your future and your future memories, create future memories, because you're living by past memories and letting those past memories dictate who you are being now instead of the version of yourself that you want to be. For those of you who are actors, producers, directors, creatives, you have the power to do that. So ask yourself, are you the star of your own movie? Are you? Okay. Or are you the supporting player? If you were to write your own movie, what character are you playing? Are you playing the star of your movie? Or are you playing a supporting character? Look at your life. In your life, are you being the star? Are you showing up for yourself? Are you showing up as the star of your movie? Because most people will settle for less. How many people do you know who tell you what to do, but they don't do it themselves? Right? Most people will settle for less because it's just a little bit easier to tell other people what to do and not to walk your talk. Sometimes it's easier to sit on the sofa and look at an actor on TV who's having great success, but because they have big ears, you say, oh, how did they become a star? And you change the channel. But you're just sitting there. You're not doing anything. They're doing it. There's a lot of people who will tell you what to do, but not do it. Who do you want to listen to? You want to listen to the people who are doing it. Okay? And a lot of people don't know what's in the way and what's stopping them. And they don't know how to use the most powerful tool that we have been given. And I'm just going to describe a little bit about the difference between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Now, our conscious mind is responsible for about 5% of our results. Only 5%. We think and we think and we think, but because we're stuck in thinking, we're not doing. I'll go to an unemployment office and speak to PhDs who don't have jobs because they're stuck in information, they're stuck in knowledge. If you're not in application, if you're not moving it into your body, you will not be creating a new result. So the conscious mind has the ability to accept ideas, it has the ability to reject or neglect. So whatever thoughts come into your head, it's really up to you to choose. Are you going to accept it, reject it, neglect it? Or are you going to convince yourself you're not enough? Are you going to convince yourself that you can't do it? Are you going to convince yourself that, oh, they didn't like you because you were too short? Are you going to convince yourself that you don't have what it takes? Because who has those voices going on in their heads? Right? So I call that's the devil within. And ask yourself, is that a useful thought? If you are not feeling good, you have an error in your thinking. Because that thinking is leading to a feeling that's telling you something that isn't true. Most people are lying to themselves. And I like to say, what's your biggest lie you're telling yourself? And flip the switch, because it's usually the opposite. I used to tell myself I wasn't smart enough. Biggest lie I could tell myself. I have degrees, I have masters, I've got certifications, and I kept saying I wasn't smart enough. Duh, that was my old self. That was convincing myself it wasn't enough. It's up to you. The biggest function of the conscious mind is focus and choose. Focus and choose. Focus on what you want and then start choosing and aiming in the direction of what you want. Aim for that target and stay on track by focusing. Let go of the lesser goals. Let go of the thoughts that aren't serving you. Let go of the people that are not like-minded and not supporting you. Or, if they're family, maybe don't hang out with them as long. So now with the subconscious mind, it's responsible, believe it or not, for 95% of our behavior. How many times have you gone somewhere with an intention and you say, I'm going to do it differently, and then you leave and say, I did it again. I don't know why, but I did it again. I thought I was going to talk to 5 people. I only talked to 1 person. I did it again. And you don't know why. Well, that's because at the subconscious level, your paradigms, your programming, your patterning, the way you've been raised, the environment that you've grown up with, the people that you hang out with, the ideas that are coming at you, all of those are controlling who you are being. But now the question is, do you think you can change that? You can change it. And you can change it on a conscious level. It takes awareness. So start listening to those voices. And if those voices come in that are not useful, say, go away, delete. You're not serving me. Whatever it is that you need to do. I had one client who, she said she was in a store one day and all these negative thoughts were coming up and she started swatting them away like a fly and everybody was looking at her like she was nuts. And then gradually she started seeing that she wasn't swatting so much anymore because she started to condition her mind. But it takes awareness. You have to be aware because you can't change until you grow aware. So the subconscious mind can't reject. It accepts whatever you're saying to it. And especially if you have an emotion attached to it, those are the thoughts that are going to go to the subconscious level that are going to come and affect your behavior. How many times have you said, oh, watch out, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop this plate. And what happens? You drop it, right? Because the subconscious is really interpreting your language in action. So subconscious mind takes language and it turns it into a picture. So if I say to you, red truck, what do you see? You don't see R-E-D, right? No. If I say to you, does your refrigerator open up from the right to the left to the right, or in between, what do you see? You just went into your kitchen, right? So all of you know the power of visualization, but it's really about using that power and constructing the pictures in your mind, because on an emotional level, your subconscious mind cannot reject it. It's going to accept it. Now, we have like over 70,000 random thoughts daily that go through our minds, but we're not paying a whole lot of attention to them because they're just thoughts that we had the day before, the day before, the day before, the day before. We want to catch the thoughts that are being implanted, embedded over and over and over again that are impacting the way we show up for ourselves. So our biggest power is to choose. It's our biggest power at the conscious level. You've got to choose and focus in the direction that you want. So just a little bit about myself. So I grew up in Montreal, Canada. I went to theater school, met the love of my life there. And then we got married and moved to San Francisco. I had a theater company in San Francisco for a number of years. Before I was 30, I had a show at the Kennedy Center. But I didn't really know that I was successful or even felt like I was successful. I was paid a big whopping $400. And I thought, something's wrong with this picture. So I decided to leave San Francisco. Came to Los Angeles to get my master's in directing at UCLA. And I thought, well, maybe I'd have a steady career teaching. I applied to over 250 universities. And I did not hear back from one. Not one. I didn't know and understand the concept of keep on keeping on at that time. For some reason, I just kept keeping on. And then I was fortunate, after I graduated from UCLA and spent a year temp for law offices, talent agents, etc., I ended up working with, do you recognize these 2 young girls? They're no longer that age. Do you know who they are? Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. Yeah. So I became their acting coach for 10 years, and I was able to travel the world with them. And my whole intention and focus was to be able to direct. It was a time that it was a little complicated it's complicated for anybody. And I was really trying to bridge into the TV and film world as a director. I did end up directing one of their music videos, which was very challenging. But it did go to number 3 on the kids charts. And I also directed their animated series. And then not long after that, my husband of 25 years died suddenly. So it was 2 months before my 25th wedding anniversary. He was diagnosed with fourth stage lung cancer, and he was gone 3 weeks later. I had an acting academy where a lot of my young babies, some of them you'd recognize now, Elizabeth Olsen, Vanessa Hudgens, Aaron Paul, to name a few, are now big stars, because I wasn't teaching them really how to act. I was really teaching them how to be strong and believe in themselves. So after I lost my husband, being gone 3 weeks later, I shut down everything, my academy, my private practice, everything, and went on another journey. Not long after, I found his mother dead. My father died, my best friend died, and my brother-in-law died jumping out of a plane and his parachute didn't open. All within 2 years. So to say the least, I had to change. So there's two ways that we change. One way is through a traumatic event or an ecstatic event, a big event that has tremendous impact, and your life just completely either collapses or radically changes, or you have a strike of luck that just blows your mind. And the other way that we change is through rapid repetition of a new idea, constant spaced repetition of a new idea. What's your new idea? What's your new idea that you're telling yourself every single day? What are you going for every single day, and repeating it over and over and over again until it becomes a part of you? This is what is really important to do. I didn't know then what I know now. If I had known then what I know now, my career would have been a lot different, but it wasn't meant to be. But I know differently about my worth and my value and asking for my worth. So your job, your biggest job, your self-worth is going to impact your net worth. Your biggest job is to work on you, your value, your worth, who you are being. And I wrote a book called True Love, True Self, A Journey to Self-Love. And then after that, I went on my own journey and ended up now really working with a lot of creatives, entrepreneurs, and showing people how to get a new result in their lives, and not just incremental results, not just going in baby steps from here to here to here, but going from here to what's the big dream? Where are you going and how do you get there? So the process of visioneering is what I'm talking about today. Visioneering is not just visualizing, okay? It empowers you to reimagine your future. Visioneering is the combination of visualizing, where you can see yourself on a screen, acting the dream of your life, but then it's also motor imaging. How many people know what motor imaging is? Sort of, yeah, right? So motor imaging is when you get your body into it and you start to be it and you start to move it. And as actors, a lot of actors that I work with are thinking about the things they don't want instead of thinking about the things they do want. As soon as you start thinking about what you don't want, say stop and start thinking about what you do want. And then start getting your body into it and start announcing, this is who I am being. And if you want to drive the car of your dreams, start to really envision that you're driving it. Go to the car lot, sit in the car, feel it. Use your senses, your 5 senses, to really be in the experience. And this is how you start to drench your body, your mind, your soul with all the things that you desire. But you have to be consistent. It can't just be a one-time deal. It can't just be that you're acting the part one time. Everybody knows the story about Tim Curry, right? Jim Curry, right? Jim Carrey. I'm thinking Tim Curry. Jim Carrey, right? And that he put the $10 million check in his wallet. Well, it's not just you put it in your wallet and then you just think about $10 million in your wallet. What do you have to do? You have to act. Every single day, you've got to get into action every single day. So really, decide what you want to achieve. Make a decision on what you want to achieve. But then ask yourself, why do you want it? When you get behind the why, that you are a messenger, that you are a vessel, that you are here with a purpose, that you're here with a mission, that you have a bigger purpose in your life to be a storyteller, that you are impacting whatever it is for you, or that you're going to change the life of your children, your family, your friends, whatever that is for you. why you want it. But then the most important question I want you to ask yourselves is, how do you want to feel? It's not the thing that we want. It's not the car that we want. It's not the dream home that we want. It's not the vacation that we want. It's the feelings that we want. And everything that is missing from where you are and where you want to go is because of the feeling place. If you're not identifying the feelings that you want, you're just living by default as life throws its curves at you. So this is called future pacing. You project yourself into the future to see and feel and use your 5 physical senses to really feel it as though it's already happening. So this future you is here. This is where you are, right? And as soon as you start to come from your dream, come from being that powerful, dynamic, charismatic, creative, confident, courageous, bold, when you are being all of those things, what are the thoughts of that person? What are the actions of that person? Who is that person? And start becoming it now by doing the things you think that person would do. And start being it now. And a way that you can do that is also by looking at someone that you admire. Someone you admire and their qualities. Or someone that you know is successful, and ask them how they got there and what would be some recommendations, what would be some pathways to get there. So you project yourself and have an expectation. You don't project yourself into going to college with the expectation that you're not going to graduate, right? Why would you get up every single day to go to college if you don't expect that you're going to graduate? Or even, for some of you, high school, right? It's to have the expectation that you are going to show up. And then if you're going to be on a sports team, are you going to play to win or are you going to play to lose? Keep your goals in sight. Keep the objective in sight. Keep the aim in sight. Keep your target in sight. And there's going to be obstacles along the way, but you must hold on to that vision, who you are being. So most people that I work with, highly successful people, they dream big to go big. Are you dreaming big? Dream big. And as soon as you start to dream big, things will start to change. Different things will show up in your life. People, places, events, circumstances. As soon as you start to declare a bigger dream, it has to be something that you don't know how to do. Because if you know how to do it, it's not a goal. You must go after something that excites you and scares you at the same time. If it excites you and scares you at the same time, you're going in the right direction. If it doesn't, you're just playing status quo. It's like buying the same car over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Hello, right? So take imperfect action. How many of you here are perfectionists? Okay, I'm a recovering perfectionist. You know, I went to UCLA with an objective to break up with my perfectionism and to fail. That was one of my objectives because I didn't know how to fail or let myself make mistakes. One of the things I taught most of my students was make mistakes. If you make a mistake and you design that that's the direction you need to go in order to stretch because you're not perfect and you don't have it all figured out, you're going to find potential inside of you. You're going to find parts of yourself that you have never yet met. Wouldn't that be exciting? To find those parts that you haven't yet met? Allow yourself to make mistakes. And I say to people, design your messy. If you design it, you've got a modicum of control. Right? And we all want to be in control. We don't like to go into auditioning rooms. We don't like to go into interviews. You know, geez, I still don't even like brushing my teeth. But it's whether or not you're willing to do it, whether or not you're able to do it, whether or not you want to do it. And build that roadmap through a mental rehearsal. You rehearse your stories, your scripts. Rehearse your day. Rehearse the images. Put the images in your mind of who you are being and who you are becoming. The comfort zone. You're going to keep postponing your dream life. How many of you have said, and it's been 5 years of saying the same thing that you want? Okay? And you're going to stop before you start. It's the start that stops most people. Let go of perfectionism. You're going to be in a rut of sameness. I did it again, I did it again, I did it again. And you're not going to discover those parts of yourself you haven't yet met. You've got to ask yourself to call yourself higher, to go into a bigger picture. whatever that is for yourselves. Now, until you imagine a new you, one of the biggest mental faculties that we have, and that as creatives we all have, is incredible imagination. Everything was first created in the mind, then in the hand. The chair that you're sitting on was first somebody's idea. The cell phone was somebody's idea. It's not created before the imagination engages. And then when you start to engage the imagination and start to grow that desire inside of you, and you fuel it with passion and you fuel it with emotion, then it goes from metaphysical dream state, moves down into your body, and it starts moving you into action, even if you're scared, okay? It's very important that you direct yourself through your imagination. As Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all that you already know. And imagination embraces the entire world and all there will ever be to know and understand. So we want to get information and we want to acquire knowledge and we want to do our research and all of that, but it's the use of the imagination that's going to grow you. So what is your end scene? If you're writing your movie, you've got your first chapter, your second chapter, and you've got your final chapter. What is your end scene? What do you see? Are you on a vacation because you've had tremendous success and you've received a $10 million check? What is your end scene? Are you receiving an award for something that you've done? So ask, who are you being now, today? What are your habits? What are your behaviors? What are you thinking? What script are you writing? What are you rehearsing? How are you showing up? What are you sensing? And your belief. When you believe, your belief is going to start creating the facts. But you don't have to have 100% belief. You can start with 51% belief. There could be somebody else who believes in you more than you believe in yourself. But start somewhere with some belief that you keep thinking over and over again, because here's what a belief is. It's a thought that you have over and over and over again that you accept as the truth. So to create a new belief, what do you have to do? Think a new thought over and over and over and over again until you accept it as the truth. And start implanting that at the subconscious level. What's not working for most people is lack of clarity, fear of failure, inconsistent action, holding on to limiting beliefs. So what do you do instead? Create a clear and detailed vision, challenge those beliefs, reframe your ideas. As, like I said, if it's useless, say, this is not making me feel good, flip the switch, it's an untruth, go to the opposite of it, and make that the truth. Make that the truth through constant spaced repetition. And then commit. It takes consistent, focused action. Oh, and let me just get back here, because we have an Emmy Award-winning producer here in the house, Carrie Zane. And Carrie is working with me and my client, Katie. So Katie started with me using visioneering. Her first dream was to be able to rent out some of her rooms in her house. You know, a few years later, she's now a property manager for over 50 homes. And she's living a quite different life. And she is also now creating a reality TV show with our Emmy Award-winning producer, Carrie Zane. So the idea of future visioning, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 year from now, rate yourself. Where are you with the clarity from 1 to 10? 10 being like really, really clear. How many of you think you're a 10 for what you have? Okay, great, fantastic. Okay, rate yourself. You know, are you a 7, an 8? And every day of your life, are you living at a 7, 8, 9, 10 level? Are you living at a 4 level? What's your level of commitment? How many of you are really clear on 3 years from now? Okay, we got some hands in the house, great. 5 years from now. Ah, okay. So it's really what's going to guide you up that mountain. It's really staying focused and staying clear on that vision. Now, the plan might change along the way, but hold on to the vision. So now courage. I tell people, you know, just putting on a tutu doesn't make you a ballerina, right? But it helps to put on a tutu to help you feel like a ballerina. And then when you start to feel like a ballerina, You might take the action to go to class. And then it takes constant spaced repetition and practice, 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 practice. Just like the Olympic athletes. I worked with Tara Lipinski. How many people know who she is? Right? So she was a figure skater who won the gold at the age of 15. I was working with her on several movies, and she would go to the rink every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'd watch her do triple Lux, fall, back up again, triple Lux, fall, back up again, triple Lux, fall. She did it over and over and over again. Now, it was a pleasure working with her, but at the same time, she'd say, Barbara, let's do it again. I'm like, you're good. General Hospital, you've got the lines, you're good, you're good. You know, and she's done, let's do it again. 11 o'clock at night. She's in Texas, which is a 2-hour time difference. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Tara, you're good. You got it. But she was so used to repetition to get it into her body, because when you get it into your body, the body takes over for you. And that's when the confidence begins to surge through practice. So forward movement, it requires courage. And successful people really, they step outside the scary zone. And, you know, the comfort zone for me is the scary zone. The comfort zone is not where you want to live. Highly successful people get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, right, to be judged. It's uncomfortable to be rejected. It's uncomfortable to, you know, think that somebody's thinking a thought of you that you don't like. It's uncomfortable. It's none of your business what somebody else thinks of you. Own that. So ask yourself, what do you really, really want? Not what somebody else wants for you, what you really, really want. Not what your wife or your husband wants for you, or your kids want, or your mother or your father. It's what do you really, really want? Commit to that. Get passionate about that. Who do you want to be? Have that picture. If you want to be an author on a book, put your picture on a book. I worked with a young 23-year-old who wanted to be a millionaire before he was 30 and be on the cover of Forbes. So we put his picture, it's like a millionaire for 30-year-olds, or under the age of 30. And we put his picture on a cover of Forbes magazine. Within 2 years, he was a millionaire. So courage, it's a catalyst for turning your dreams into reality. Be courageous. Take messy action, but design it. And just go, oops, made a mistake. Oops, egg on my face. Oops, you know, that didn't feel too comfortable, but I know why I did it. I directed a show at UCLA that was so bad. People were walking out of the theater and coming up to me and saying, how could you sit through that bleep, 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 bleep? But I went on to direct something else after that that became one of the biggest hits in UCLA history. Would not have done that had I not sought failure. Highly successful people seek failure. So there's an exact science behind goal achievement, and it's your self-image. Who you think of you are being. That's your self-image. Your internal dialogue is what matters the most. It truly is and that's what you have authority over. Nobody else has authority over that. That's your power. Engage in that power. And you'll never outperform what you already know. So how do you do what you don't know? You've got to go after something you don't know. Make sense? Okay, and I say to people, what do you see in that picture? Right? Be brave. Even if you're not, pretend to be. Try it on. My sister, who's really shy, she told me recently, I never knew this, that her favorite holiday was Halloween because she got to dress up and she always felt different when she dressed up and she felt more bold and she started to identify with that character. So a committed decision is what it takes, folks. You've got to commit. You've got to decide. You get to. If you don't make a committed decision, you're just wishing. So if you want to go to Paris for a vacation and you keep saying you want to go, it's not a committed decision. It's not even a decision. You've got to buy the plane ticket. And when you buy the plane ticket, the money, you'll start to find the money. You've got to make a committed decision that you're going to do something. It's kind of like when, you know, the ships sailed to the islands and then they wanted to conquer the islands and the captain said, burn the ships. There's no going back. Right? I'm in it to win it. So as soon as you make that decision, guess what happens? Ah! Fear. And fear is just false evidence appearing real. And it's going to convince you every time that you're going in the wrong direction. But as soon as you feel fear, doubt, and worry, you've got to say, I'm going in the right direction. Say that to yourself. I'm going in the right direction. There's fear, there's doubt, there's worry, but I know I'm going in the right direction. It's going to automatically happen. Okay, so something happened on the slides. There we go. So now we're coming to the comfort zone and the battle within. I'm going to explain to you what that is, what's really going on. Change is complicated. We don't like to change. We say we want to change, but we don't like to change because we feel uncomfortable. Subconscious mind is protecting us from the unknown because we don't want to feel embarrassed, humiliated. We don't want to feel these awful feelings, right, when we experience an uncomfortable situation. But it's really just protecting us. But subconscious mind is keeping us the same. We'll never outperform what we already know. So change is complicated. And I went on a journey after what happened to me to try to discover why change was so complicated. So what's happening is we're having a battle with the old self and the new self. So I want you to know that you have a new idea, you have a new dream. And it's just at the conscious level, it's just at the fantasy level, right? And then you've got the old self that's on the programming, the patterning side. It's on the side that it's not seen. And it starts to react to you bringing in this new idea and starts to convince you why not to have it. And then the new idea is saying, but I want it, I want it, I want it. And the more you get involved with it, the more engaged you get, the more emotional you get. It starts to like come into your body as a vibration. Now you've got that vibration of excitement and you've got that vibration of fear. I don't want this new thing. I don't want this new thing. And what is happening is that the two are at war. The old self and the new self are saying, get out of here. No, you get out of here. No, you get out of here. You get out of here. And in the body, what do you think you experience that as? What's the feeling? You got it. Say it loudly. Anxiety. That's what getting out of the comfort zone is going to cause immediately. So know that that anxiety, that the sweat, or the foam at the side of your mouths, or the dry, or the wet hands, or whatever that is just two opposing vibrations in your body. One that wants something new, and one that wants something old. And the two are going to war. And that's what's going on with anxiety. So create future memories. Let go of the past memories. Subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the past, the present, or the future. It only knows now. State your goals, state your dream in present tense as you want it right here, right now. Because it's believing, why not bring in future lies instead of past lies, right? Play with your mind, trick your brain. Your brain just wants to hang on to neural pathways it already has the grooves for. It's the path of least resistance. It doesn't want to have to work so hard. So fear, doubt, worry becomes analysis paralysis, not doing, overthinking, perfectionism leads to seeking outside approval, loss of confidence, procrastination, and most people give up too soon, way too soon. So you get to write the script of your life. When you write it in present tense. Write it with feeling words, emotions. Use your 5 physical senses. Start broadcasting. You're going to broadcast a new vibration of a new you. Start building a new image of yourself. What does that look like? And it's going to set intentions. It's going to set feelings. And you'll be surprised at the opportunities and the people and the places and events that start coming to you. And the good thing is, if you're aware, you're going to say, yes, bring it on. If you're still in fear, you're going to say, no, I'm not ready yet. No, I'm not ready yet. But when you start seeing these opportunities come to you, what do you have to do? Seize it. You have to say, yes, I'm going to do it anyway. I know I don't feel ready. I'm scared, but you've got to do it. Get yourself uncomfortable. See your end scene. Come from your future self. Come from who you say you want to be. Build these new images in your mind. Get pictures. Look at pictures, fantasize, grow big ideas. Allow yourself to be creative. A lot of writers are writing amazing scenarios for other people. Do it for you. New thoughts, new beliefs, these are all key, and your habits. I want you to think about the habits that are keeping you stuck, that are not serving you. And to change a habit, it takes 30 days to change the neural pathways in your brain. To change that habit, choose 1 or 2 habits. Focus on those 2 habits. The 2 habits that you want to let go of, replace them with a good habit. Because if you're not going to replace it with a good habit, guess what happens? Another bad habit. Okay? Start working with your actions. Change up your actions. Create that new self-image. Be bold. While you're here in these next 3 days, take a bold action. Really get bold. This is a woman, I saw her last night. She's now 80 years old, but when I worked with her, she was 72. She had always been writing, and I challenged her within 3 months that she would have the first draft of a book and invite 20 people to come and hear her read her book. Within 3 months, and she said she was committed. I said, you're not in your goal until you send out the invitations. She sent out the invitations. 3 months later, I was in her living room when she was reading the first draft of her book. Commitment, dedication, doing the do. Act on your dreams and name that one bold action that you're going to take. Think of what bold action that you're going to take while you're here. Do it. Try it. Commit, and the next 30 days, try it on, just like a costume. And confidence. Confidence is going to lead to you just trusting, but you're not going to gain confidence until you start acting. And then it starts to align you with your new beliefs. The more you're in action, look at the result. If you're not getting the result that you want, try something else. Do it differently. I say to my clients all the time, do it differently if you're not getting what you want. So visioneering, it strengthens your self-assurance. It connects you emotionally to your goals. It builds your self-esteem. It's up to you. Your subconscious mind starts to be internalized. You want to internalize. You want to own. You want to stand up for your vision. You want to stand up for who you are being. And the actor's process, everybody knows, right? You receive a script. You read and reread the script. You rehearse it. You build your character through identity-based behaviors, right, for that character. And you build beliefs, behaviors. You dress the part, you feel the part, you rehearse the part until you become the part, right? You can do the same for your own life, not just for a character. What not to do? A lot of people think that you're born with confidence or not. It's not true. You grow your confidence. You build your confidence. Don't tell yourself you're not confident. You can grow your confidence. People rely on external validation. Stop it. Okay? A lot of people avoid self-doubt. It's only human to have self-doubt. We all have self-doubt. Acknowledge that you have self-doubt. And then just start to work with your thoughts. Start working with your feelings. Start going back to your vision. A lot of people fear failure. Seek it. Highly successful people seek failure. So embrace imperfection. Please do anything you can to break up with perfectionism. Cultivate self-validation. Praise yourself. Yay. Kiss your hand. Love you, right? Engage in visioneering. Create new identity-based behaviors. This is another client who always thought of himself as fat. Within 6 months, he signed up for a marathon and was running a marathon within the year. He's now quite thin, and he is also teaching F45 classes in 5 gyms. And he's a financial advisor. So look at identity-based behaviors. Identify a quality that you admire in someone else and start strengthening that quality. If you see it in them, it's because it's in you. Or take a quality that you have that you know is exceptional and grow it, build it, start really strengthening it. Really identify it. Look at some people that you admire, people that instead of looking at somebody and being jealous, that's just telling you that it's important to you and you want it. Look at that person and ask, what inspires you about that person? Turn the word jealousy into inspiration. Look at these people, how they show up. What is it that attracts you to them? Right? Who's a mentor? Ask them questions. Be brave, because you know what? They want to be asked, and most people don't ask. They don't ask. I can't tell you how many successful people say, they never ask me. Ask. Okay, flip your script, everybody. Gain clarity on your vision. Transform that self-image that's limiting you, convincing you that you're not enough. Build your brighter future, become the star of your life, use your imagination, decide to act, takes courage. Be the part. Own your vision. What is it? Are you committed? Just like I said, if you're not committed, you'll just be interested and you'll sit on the sofa and go, why is she so successful? Douche. Why is he so successful? Douche. And you'll just be sitting on the sofa. Make a committed decision. You're going to do it, and you're going to do it differently. You don't get what you want. You get who you are being. Is it time for your standing ovation? I'm going to give you a standing ovation. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I'm Barbara Daoust. I'm a Thinking into Results consultant. And if you have any questions, I'll be around today. And you can get my QR code. And I have a free download of a script called The Code to Success, where you can write out a vision of your future, adding emotion, adding scenery, imagery, and building that script, that movie that you get to live. Have a great few days here, everybody.